People often complain about a derelict house or a house that has been allowed to severely run down in their area. People also complain about, patches of land which are overgrown by weeds, rubbish dumping, etc. Now, in a situation like that, you can complain to the local authority. In Limerick, it's Limerick Council, obviously. And the local authority have the power to look at this site and determine whether it warrants the issuing of a derelict sites notice. Now, if they are going to issue a derelict sites notice, they have to contact the owner of the site, if that's possible, or the house in question, and give them the chance to put it in order. In other words, bring the house up to a certain standard, clean the site, etc. If the person in question if the owner of the site doesn't do that, or doesn't do it to the council's satisfaction, and that'll be all laid out in the council directive, then the council has the power to acquire the site compulsorily, or they can approach the owner and purchase the site on a voluntary basis. But usually what happens is they decide to purchase the site compulsorily. That's whether the owner wants to sell it or not, and the owner then is entitled to compensation for the value of the site. But the compensation has to be, before the council will pay compensation, the alleged owner will have to establish full legal title to the site in order to get paid. The council is obliged to keep a register of sites they have already issued derelict notices on. So if you want to check whether the site is already on the derelict sites list, you can simply ring the council or call into the council offices, and they will be able to confirm whether or not it's on the list. And if it is on the list, you can then, if it's not on the list, you can ask the council to go out and inspect it and consider putting it on the list. If it's already on the list, you can ask the council what steps are being taken to actually acquire it, whether by way of compulsion or by agreement with the owner. Just one point to make here: when it comes to when a site is adjudged by the council to be a derelict site, and they want to acquire it compulsorily, the owner has the right to object to that. If they submit an objection to the council within a certain period of receiving the notice, the matter is then referred to an Bord Pleanála, who make the ultimate decision. I found in practice that usually when the council go out and designate a site a derelict site, or when they threaten to designate it as a derelict site, that usually tends to do the trick. In many cases, in some cases at least, it might be difficult to identify the actual owner of the site, but there's a procedure for dealing with that too. That doesn't necessarily have to stop the council acquiring the site. A derelict site, as I say, can be a house that's allowed to run down, can be in a condition maybe that's even dangerous. And if the derelict site is in the form of a house and it turns out to be dangerous, and the council issue a notice to put it in order to make it safe, and the owner doesn't comply with that, it can also be a Garda matter, and the owner can be prosecuted in cases like that. So, my advice to people would be that if there is such a property in their vicinity which is either taken from the area, or is dangerous, or is just unsightly or whatever, they should first of all check with the council to see if this is on the derelict sites list. And if it's not, they should ask the council to come out and inspect it with a view to maybe putting it on the derelict sites list. Doesn't always, mind you, work out totally satisfactorily, but I found that in the vast majority of cases I've dealt with anyway, this usually prompts the owner to take a certain action to bring the site, up to standard. The other thing to bear in mind is, of course, that there is a levy now. There's a 7% levy. 7% of the value of a derelict site can be 7% of the value of a derelict site can be levied on the owner of that derelict site, for each year in which it remains derelict after they get the notice that it is a derelict site. So this is a powerful incentive as well for people, unless they want to see if they actually own the property, and unless they want to see the value wiped out by government levies over a certain period, then we'll obviously have an incentive to do something about it.